Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Shudder Slaughterhouse. I'm Daniel, and yes, this week we got a double feature for you. Two films, both from 2014, ironically enough. The first one that we're going to cover is Lyle, 2014. This young woman's toddler dies, and horrible shit happens afterwards. Okay, without spoiling too much, and I won't give away a whole lot, but if you've seen Rosemary's Baby, you've seen this. This is very much a rip-off of Rosemary's Baby. Now, there's plenty of differences in there, but it follows the same fucking formula. The only difference really is instead of a straight couple, they have a lesbian couple. But you still have the apartment, you got the eccentric neighbor, you got people who are around that you don't know quite if they're, should be trusted, should they not be, you don't know. Is she just going insane, even though we're watching a horror film and we know she's clearly not? It's that whole kind of formula right there. The thing is, and I love Rosemary's Baby. So much so, in fact, that my child is named Adrian. All hell Adrian. But, that movie was great for what it was, and we don't need to see it again. After that, quit making that movie. And I get it. It's a cheap type of film to make. If you got an apartment and a kid, or just kid noises, you can have a fucking baby doll and just have fucking kid noises or whatever. You just got the apartment, and you can just have a woman act like she's going crazy and insane, and you can stretch that shit out for a long time, and guess what? Boom, you got your Rosemary's Baby knockoff. And if it's well shot and well acted, like this movie is, I'm not trying to knock everything about this. I think the performances are really good. Direction's alright. Story ain't bad, it's just like we've already seen it. It's just, it's a ripoff. It's a ripoff of Rosemary's Baby. I don't know. I wasn't super huge on this, mainly because I was just bored through a lot of it. I don't know. I didn't care for it. I do kind of like the twist-ish. There's not, I won't say twist, but it's like, who knew Satan was a bit of a sexist? If you know what I'm talking about, watch the movie, I guess, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I don't know. The movie's only 62 minutes long. 1 hour, 2 minutes, and I swear this thing felt like 2 hours. It just felt like it drug. It drug and it drug. I don't know. I wasn't huge on it. The people here at Shudder, the community of Shudder, whatever, they gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm giving it 2 out of 5 skulls. I'm sorry. I wasn't big on it. Like I said, production values are good. The acting solid. It's just I don't care about the story, and it's a good story. It's just it's already been done. And it wasn't just this movie. There's another movie that came out. I don't remember what it's called. I had it I used to subscribe to the horror pack, and I was getting sent a lot of shit. That's why I quit subscribing. You get a hidden gem every now and then, but for the most part, you just got I either got movies I already owned or just trash, and it was just fuck. There's barely a middle ground, but there's a movie. I want to say it's I may have this completely off. But there's a couple movies that's kind of like this, but there's a movie called Apartment 212, 230 something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's apartment number something, I think. And that's the one where it's a newly, it's a married couple that just has a kid and they move to the apartment. And even though it's really different, because once again, Rosemary's Baby is about a woman who's pregnant living in the apartment. This one's kind of the same thing, but kind of not. There's a little bit different of a twist to it. But either way, it was still the same thing. It was just, is she going crazy? Are the people downstairs really who they say they are? Is this Satanist at work? It's the same fucking thing. So I don't know. Personally, was not big on Lyle. You may like it. If you do, let me know what you think. Comment section down below. Up next, though, and this is my watch of the week, even though we only did 2. This is called Lost Soul: The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau. I guess how you do the whole title. It's a long one. It's a mouthful. You just type in Lost Soul, you'll find it on Shudder. But this is basically telling you about the production history of the Island of Dr. Moreau. I think it's 96 that movie came out, and how Richard Stanley, had his own vision. However, the studio didn't really seem to care about his vision, and they really didn't seem to fucking care about the movie, period. It just kind of seemed like they just were whatever. And how that, on top of ridiculous ideas, Marlon Brando just came up with like wacky ideas. I mean, you had bad weather and just everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and it talks about that whole thing. So I never saw The Island of Dr. Moreau. I remember being a kid. I would have been probably 6th grade, maybe. Nah, yeah, I would have been 5th grade, 6th grade, around then, when this movie came out, and not the documentary, but the Island of Dr. Moreau. Maru. Is it Maru? Moreau? I don't know. It don't matter. I'm American and I talk rednecky, so I'll say Dr. Moreau. If I'm wrong, correct me. But anyways, I remember coming. It just didn't look good. It just didn't look that good to me, so I just never watched it. I was never a big Val Kilmer fan to begin with, and I always respected the guy as an actor. But like after watching this, I was like, dude, I knew he seemed like a douchey cunt. Like seriously, fuck Val Kilmer. But anyways, so I never watched it. But I do remember this trailer coming out back in like 2014, and they were talking about this. And I never knew anything about the troubled history, production history of this. But I didn't ever have a chance to watch it. So when it was on Shudder, I was like, well, shit, I'll snatch that up right now. And really interesting. So I didn't know who Richard Stanley was either. This guy made a couple films, Loki movies, prior to Island of Dr. Moreau, and then unfortunately, because he got fired and whatever on Island of Moreau, he hasn't worked again at all. But I knew the name sounded familiar, and it turned out he did another movie I just watched recently. That's also on Shudder. Color Out of Space. He directed that. Now, like his first feature-length film since this debacle. He's done a couple shorts or segments in anthology films since then, but this was like his first big feature again, and which I thought that was really good. I didn't see his first 2 films, but I thought Color Out of Space was really good. So, anyways, so you get to meet this Richard Stanley, and the dude's a very eccentric guy. Like, I don't know, I feel like I like the guy, and I would have loved to have seen what his movie would have been like. Who knows? It could have been a hit. My big takeaway from this was, Val Kilmer seems like a fucking prick. And I mean, hopefully he's humbled now, because he's older, he's fatter, and his star isn't quite as bright as it used to be. So, who knows? Maybe karma caught up with him, and this is why he's doing straight-to-video bullshit and hoping to get, a gig somewhere. So hopefully he's a little bit more humble, but apparently the dude was just a prick back in the day. And a lot of people kind of attest to this, so it's not just like Richard Stanley, like, he was mean. No, it's like, nah, a lot of people were saying it. And I kind of figured he was anyways. Like, I heard there was issues with, that's why he didn't come back to Batman and Robin, or after Batman Forever, because he was, demanding way too much money, and I guess he was just very difficult to work with. And I think I want to say I actually heard before this that Marlon Brando didn't like him because of this film, this film. Marlon Brando was another thing. It was just wacky about it. It was just like, he didn't seem to care. He was there, and like, I guess he would do things kind of like, he asked to be done like in whiteface. So he had like this powder white makeup all over him, and he had to wear this ridiculous hat, or didn't have to, he demanded he wear this ridiculous hat, and he sunglasses. And then he just let like his stunt double do a lot of the work for him, because he's just like, you don't need me on the set that day because I don't want to have to be there, so I ain't talking. Boom. And then like I always liked Bob Shea from the Nightmare on Elm Street documentaries I watched, special features and shit. And like here he just seems like a complete asshole. Like, and I know it's kind of slanted against New Line in certain aspects, just because it's like we're clearly supposed to be on Richard Stanley's side, which I don't know. Maybe he was a little too weird. I don't know. But it just seems like this is kind of the order of the day. It's like studios just need to keep their fucking mouth shut. Like, I get it, it's all about the money. But I don't know. I feel like, especially like New Line, it's like you guys were like specialty guys. Like, who gives a fuck? But I don't know. I guess once you bring in big stars, the budget goes up, and then just, it is what it is. But I don't know. I just, after watching this, it just, a lot of people I kind of liked, or I don't know. A lot of people I was kind of, like I said, Bob Shea is one of them. I just kind of always looked at that guy, and they had a couple other people they were talking about, and I was just like, oh, really? Oddly enough, Ron Perlman never showed up to do this documentary. Apparently he didn't want Batman, he didn't want slander, but he clearly he had something to say, or he thought this way, because clearly, if it would have been a pleasant experience for the guy, he would have showed up and been like, yeah, let me tell you about my awesome time on the island of Dr. Moreau, but apparently that's not the case. He just didn't want to show. He didn't want to say anything bad. I really like this documentary. Even if you've never seen a movie like me, It's just fun to kind of see the process behind making movies, and then just how every bad thing that happened did happen, and it's still in. And it doesn't just stop with Richard Stanley, because like I said, after he gets fired, they go into the next guy, which I forget who it was, like John Frankenheimer or some bullshit like that. And they did, they talked more about the completion of the movie, just how it kind of bombed at the end and everything. Which I guess it made back some money, but it was what they wanted. And so it is what it is. But I really enjoyed this documentary. If you're a big fan of documentaries or just Hollywood, behind the scenes kind of stuff, I would highly recommend it. Yeah, aside from Richard Stanley, I'm gonna butcher her name. Is it Fairuza Balk? She was Nancy from The Craft, and she played Vicky Valancourt in Waterboy. I love her. She's in American History X too. Like American History X, she was a crazy bitch, a crazy racist bitch, and I was like, yeah, I'd still date her. I know, it's horrible, but it's Fairuza Balk. I'm sorry, I love her. And so it's just really cool to see her here. I haven't seen her in a long time. I don't know what she's doing or what she's up to, but yeah, but she was in this too. And like I said, she seemed very sympathetic. I guess her and Richard Stanley are actually really good friends, so, she's definitely more on, he's on her side, on his side. But no, it was really good. Shudder the Shudder community gave it 5 out of 5 skulls. I'm going to go 4 out of 5. Once again, I'm a stickler for that 5 out of 5, so you need to be near perfect. And a lot of these first time watches, who knows, they may go on to become 5 out of 5s, but not in the cards today. So 4 out of 5, but definitely my watch of the week. So there it is, guys. Lyle, Lost Soul, yes. So that's my 2 reviews for the week. I don't know if I'll be reviewing, or if this Shudder Slaughterhouse will be on next week or not, only because the holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, even though I don't know if anybody's doing a lot of Black Friday stuff. Like the physical act of going out and shopping. I'm sure there's a lot of online stores that are just going crazy right now. They're just like, yes, finally. So, but either way, for the holidays, I may take next week off. I haven't decided yet. Stay tuned, I guess. But yeah, that's all I got. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.